For millions of viewers, Tony Dow was forever remembered as the dependable older brother who seemed to have life figured out long before adulthood arrived. Yet the man behind that role lived a far more layered and reflective life than most audiences ever realized. His public image was built on warmth, confidence, and steady optimism, but privately he was an artist, a thinker, and someone who constantly questioned his own path. Fame arrived early, and with it came expectations that were difficult for any young person to carry gracefully. Over the years, those close to him often described him as thoughtful rather than flashy, reserved rather than loud, and deeply appreciative of ordinary moments. While television introduced him to the world, it never fully defined him. His life story ultimately became one of growth, reinvention, and the quiet search for authenticity beyond the spotlight. Early life and creative foundations. Born Anthony Lee Dow in Hollywood, California, Tony grew up during a period when the entertainment industry was rapidly expanding and shaping modern culture. His upbringing combined creativity and practicality, giving him exposure to both artistic expression and disciplined work ethic. Though he did not initially set out to become an actor, he possessed a natural ease in front of people that made him stand out. Friends from his youth often remembered him as sincere and curious, someone who observed more than he spoke. These early qualities would later become essential to his career, allowing him to portray characters that felt genuine rather than exaggerated. Growing up near the heart of the film and television world meant opportunities occasionally appeared without warning, and when one such opportunity arrived, it altered the direction of his life completely. What began as a simple audition would soon evolve into cultural recognition that few teenagers experience. The role that defined a generation. Tony's breakthrough came when he was cast as Wally Cleaver on the beloved sitcom Leave It to Beaver. The character embodied the ideal older sibling, supportive, level-headed, and kind, qualities that resonated strongly with families watching at home. Week after week, viewers welcomed him into their living rooms, seeing in Wally a comforting sense of stability. The show became a cultural touchstone praised for its gentle storytelling and relatable life lessons. For 6 seasons, Tony's performance helped shape how many people imagined suburban American family life. Yet while the role brought admiration and recognition, it also created a powerful association that followed him everywhere. Audiences often struggled to separate the actor from the character, assuming his real personality mirrored the scripted one exactly. Though flattering, this assumption would later present challenges as he tried to explore new, creative directions and step beyond the shadow of a single iconic identity. Navigating life after early fame. When the original series concluded, Tony faced a reality familiar to many young performers: the need to rediscover himself outside the role that made him famous. Rather than rushing into constant publicity, he chose a more measured path, pursuing education and exploring different professional experiences. This period allowed him to mature away from intense attention, gaining perspective on what he truly wanted from life. He continued acting in various television programs, taking guest roles that demonstrated his versatility and willingness to learn. Instead of chasing instant visibility, he focused on steady growth and meaningful work. Those who worked with him during these years often noted his professionalism and humility, qualities that distinguished him from others who struggled with early celebrity. It was a transitional chapter defined not by decline, but by thoughtful recalibration, a time when he learned that longevity in creative industries often depends on patience and adaptability. Returned to television and work behind the camera. In the 1980s, Tony returned to the character that had introduced him to the world through a revival series that followed the Cleaver family into adulthood. This return was not simply nostalgic, it allowed him to reinterpret the role with the insight of lived experience. At the same time, he expanded his career behind the scenes, discovering a passion for directing. Working off camera gave him a new appreciation for storytelling structure and collaboration. Colleagues often praise his calm leadership style and respect for actors' perspectives, qualities that created a positive working environment. Directing opened creative doors he had never previously considered, proving that his abilities extended far beyond performing. This period represented reinvention rather than repetition, as he balanced honoring his past with building a broader professional identity. A deeply personal artistic journey. Later in life, Tony found profound fulfillment in visual art, particularly sculpture. This creative pursuit became more than a hobby. It evolved into a deeply personal form of expression that allowed him to communicate emotions words sometimes could not capture. Working with materials such as bronze and wood, he produced pieces that reflected introspection and sensitivity. Exhibitions of his work demonstrated that his artistic instincts were not limited to acting or directing. Sculpture offered solitude and contemplation, contrasting sharply with the collaborative and public nature of television production. Friends described this phase as one where he seemed especially centered, as though shaping physical forms helped him better understand his inner world. Art became a bridge between public recognition and private reflection, allowing him to create without expectation. Family life and lasting partnerships. Tony's personal life included meaningful relationships that provided stability beyond his professional pursuits. Marriage and fatherhood introduced responsibilities that grounded him, offering perspective that fame alone could never provide. Those close to him frequently spoke of his pride in family achievements and his appreciation for shared creative interests at home. His long-term partnership later in life became especially significant, marked by mutual respect and emotional support. In an industry often associated with short-lived relationships, his enduring marriage stood as a testament to commitment and understanding. Family gatherings, artistic discussions, and quiet domestic routines became treasured aspects of his life. While audiences primarily recognized him from the screen, the people nearest to him saw a different dimension: a husband, father, and friend who valued sincerity over spectacle. Honesty about mental health and personal reflection. One of Tony's most impactful contributions came not from a performance, but from his openness about mental health. At a time when such discussions were less common among public figures, he spoke candidly about experiencing depression and emotional struggles. His willingness to share these experiences encouraged empathy and understanding, helping others feel less alone in their own journeys. Rather than presenting himself as invulnerable, he emphasized the importance of seeking help, maintaining perspective, and nurturing creativity as a source of healing. Educational projects and public conversations allowed him to connect with audiences on a deeper level than scripted roles ever could. This transparency revealed courage and compassion, reminding people that public success does not erase private challenges. Complex professional relationships and personal growth. Like many long-running productions, the environment behind the scenes was not always simple. Professional relationships sometimes carried differences in personality and communication styles, especially between experienced performers and younger cast members learning the craft. Over time, Tony reflected on these dynamics with maturity, recognizing that early misunderstandings often stem from differing expectations rather than deliberate unkindness. While certain memories remained emotionally charged, he rarely spoke with hostility, instead choosing measured words that emphasized professionalism and perspective. This approach illustrated personal growth, an understanding that human interactions are rarely black and white. Colleagues later noted that he preferred focusing on collaboration and creative achievements rather than dwelling on past tensions. Final years and an enduring legacy. In his later years, Tony faced health challenges with composure and gratitude for the life he had lived. Support from family, friends, and fans became a powerful source of comfort, reminding him of the positive impact he had made across generations. When his passing eventually came, tributes highlighted not only his iconic television role, but also his artistry, honesty, and gentle demeanor. The unusual sequence of early reports and public concern before his actual death underscored how deeply people cared for him. His legacy extends beyond nostalgic reruns. It lives in the conversations he started about mental well-being, the artwork he created with his hands, and the performances that continue to bring comfort to viewers. Remembered as both an entertainer and a thoughtful human being, he left behind more than a character. He left a reminder that authenticity, humility, and creativity can outlast any single role.